Good evening. This is Tina. How are you doing? In this video, we're gonna talk about entity lifecycle, and it's a very important topic inside the JPA because later on, if you using the JPA APIs, and probably you facing the issues like detached object cannot be saved. Those problem happens is because of the different state of the entities. And after these videos, and probably when you see this kind of information, you will immediately know where the problem is. Okay. So let's start. For an entity, there are 4 states. Okay, 4 states in Hibernate or in JPA. The first one is called a transient. I think I have to draw it. I have to draw in two things. Okay. So I have to draw here. Let me make this one have a break here. Okay. And we have 4 states. The first one is called a transient. What does a transient mean? Suppose we have a person, okay, and we annotated with entity, right? And now I create a new person. Like this one, I create a new, in the main or any other place, you create a new person. And the new person currently it's gonna be in the transient state. Suppose this one is called the P1, okay? The P1 currently gonna be called transient. P1 is created using new person, okay? What does a transient mean? Transient means first, in the database, there is no record about P1. Database doesn't know anything about the P1. Second, do you remember last video we talked about the persistence context? Okay. Transient means the P1 is outside of this persistent context and also no record in the database. Okay. P1 is outside this persistent context, so it's called a transient when using new. Okay, so next one called managed. Some articles will call persisted. Okay, what does this one means? And entity manager also has APIs to move the entity, the P1, the state from the transient to managed. Okay, so the API I will give you now is called EM. This is entity manager dot persist. P1. P1 is this object. Okay, suppose here I have person P1. Okay, this P1 equals new person, and I using em.persist P1. Then your your entity will move from state transient to managed or persisted. What does this mean? This means now when you operate this one, this P1 will move to here. P1. And this one will be gone. The P1 is moved inside the persistent context. And when you do a commit, this P1 will be saved into the database. The P1 will be saved into the database as a record into the table. So managed, persisted, this state means the P1 object, okay, is inside the persistent context or inside this first level cache or core session or core the IOC container of Hibernate. Got it? So P1 is inside here. Next one. Okay. Next one is a detached. How to get it detached? You can using em dot detach. Okay, or em dot close. We will talk all the APIs later, and there probably has another one. I couldn't remember now. So what is a detached? Detached means let me show you another example here. Okay. In the database, we have a record here. Is called person ID is 2, and the name is the xing. Okay. So detached means is previously this person 2 xing was inside this persistent context, and you operate something em detached, and which means this person 2 will moved to here from managed to persisted. Okay, P2 previously is in persistent context. Now we do an operation. We do an operation. This operation is called em dot detached. Okay, then this P2 will move out from persistent context into here, P2. And what's the difference between the transient? We talked about it before. Transient is also outside this persistent context. What's the difference? Transient mostly it doesn't have primary key, but P2 has a primary key. Got it? And transient, this one doesn't have a record in the database, but for P2 it has a record in the database, but it's not maintained by the persistent context anymore. Okay, so this is detached, and you also can move this detached object back to the persistent context. So how to do that? We use another API using em.merge. Okay, em.merge can merge this P2 back here, but there are something a little bit different when we using em.merge, and we will talk more later. It didn't directly put this P2 to here. Instead, it will create another object here. It will create another object called P2. And then it will copy all the state from P2 to here and return this new the created one back. So it didn't directly move this one to there. And if you don't understand, don't worry. We will talk about this merge this API later. Okay. Anyway, the idea is you can merge a detached object back to a managed state. Okay, this is the third state. The last one is removed. And what is removed? You can using an API from managed to removed, which is using em.remove P1. Okay, and what's gonna do is do I need to scroll down a little bit? Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, what's gonna do is in the database, okay, we have a record 3 and the name is called Tina. And then if we're using removed, right? If we're using removed, the first time actually it's gonna have this P3 here. And then when you commit, this P3 will be removed from the persistent context, and also this record will be removed from the database. Okay, this is removed. The detached, the record then is also the detached, the record in the database remains no change. Okay, removed, which means it's gonna be removed from the database. Okay, so this is the 4 state of an entity. Okay, like transient, managed, detached, removed. Okay, when we're using new, it's gonna go become a transient. Oh, I forgot something. Suppose we're using em.find based on the ID. Okay, and em.find is gonna return object for you, right? And find the object will automatically become managed when you find. Okay, or when you're using get reference, those objects will automatically become managed. Okay, and you can use detach, you can merge, you can remove. So this is the 4 state of an entity inside the JPA or inside the Hibernate, and they are very important. And for the next few slides, I will talk about each of the APIs, like persist, remove, merge, those APIs. Okay, so if you are interested, watch my other videos. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.